Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This week I'm following up on a viewer request and taking a look at Chase and Hunt, a first-person hunting game for the Gear VR. Chase and Hunt was released on August 2nd, 2017 and is currently available for $2.99 as a gallery app, and you'll see why in a bit. It's developed by Pixelwave, which is a sub-team of the Deep Brain studio that developed the Gear VR title Boomboxing earlier this year. Pixelwave has been hard at work developing multiple Gear VR games, with even more scheduled for release in the future. Chase and Hunt bills itself as a first-person shooter hunting experience. You're dropped into an enclosed area and given 4 minutes to shoot as many animals in the head as you can, while also picking up ammo and pots of gold strewn about the forest. Animals are not susceptible to body shots at all and can only be taken down with a headshot. You can fire from the hip or raise your rifle scope to take a more precise shot from a distance. Right off the bat, I wouldn't call this an authentic hunting experience. It's more like an FPS with animals. You pick one of the 3 areas and spawn in. Almost immediately you'll spot a bear running at you in slow motion, if not 2 or 3. All the animals seem to run in slow motion, like they're stuck in an old episode of Baywatch. Your movement is also painfully slow, taking nearly a minute to cross an area just to grab some extra ammo, often while being chased by a bear. Overall, the game feels unfinished. It feels like a demo or a student project. Gameplay-wise, there's no real loop. You're put in an area and told to shoot animals, and that's it. There's no challenge to stalking your prey since you can see most of the animals from your starting point. The elk and antelope don't seem to react to the noise of your rifle, so you can just take shot after shot until you score a hit. Collecting gold is pointless, so you're basically taking a slow walk through the forest looking for ammo and shooting animals as you see them. It's entertaining for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then the monotony sets in. The controls are functional but bare bones. The developer has elected to focus on touchpad controls, that is the touchpad on the Gear VR headset, in lieu of any controller option. I think it's great that developers are still considering those Gear VR owners that do not own a gamepad or motion controller. There's still a lot of people playing that way, and no gamer should be excluded if possible. You tap to hold to move in the direction you're looking, tap to fire, and swipe to raise and lower the scope. But this scheme has some issues. First, you'll usually end up taking a shot when you release the touchpad to stop walking. The fire command appears to be tied to a on button up event, meaning releasing the touchpad without a swipe will make you use a bullet. And when you're down to your last couple rounds with a bear running at you, this is somewhat inconvenient. Second, there is no option to use a gamepad or motion controller at all, either of which would have been vastly superior to the touchpad. Yes, the developer has managed to shoehorn FPS controls onto the touchpad, but it's not a good experience, and options should have been provided. Look at Quake, Minecraft, Eclipse, or Last Z Killer, all first-person games with free movement, all using either a gamepad or a motion controller, and all the better for it. The graphics are quite literally a mixed bag. Let's start with the environment. When they say it's low poly, they really mean it. The ground is perfectly flat, and rocks and trees are made of the absolute minimum of polygons. It's a style they chose, and that's fine, although this specific implementation is kind of boring. The colors in the first environment are super ugly, but the second and third arenas fare much better, with some cool aurora and campfire effects. Then there's the animals. I think each animal model contains more polygons than the entire surrounding environment. Knowing a bit about game production in Unity, I'd say the developer took an off-the-shelf animal model and applied the polyworld effect to make it look like this. I actually like how the animals look, even if they are a bit shiny, but they look hilariously out of place in these environments. It can be easily seen in the screenshots on the Oculus Store, and the mismatch is even worse in-game. Then there's the effects. The fire and firefly effects are kind of cool and actually fit the environment. But what you'll be seeing most of the time is the blood splatter, which for some reason is one of the most detailed blood effects I've seen in a Gear VR game. Again, in sharp contrast to both the environments and animal models, the blood effects look ridiculously out of place. I won't discuss the bullet and gold sprites much, except to say that they are equally out of place. Taken as a whole, the graphics look like an incoherent mess. Like the individual assets were designed or purchased by different people and dropped into the game without any care or thought in an effort to ship the game as fast as possible. It's almost like everything is placeholder art, there to show you the basic idea, with proper models to be added later. The sound is not great. The menu music sounds like some 90s dance club track, completely out of place with the mood and context of the game. It's the background track to this review, so you can hear for yourself. The in-game sound is a little better in that it's a looping audio clip of forest sounds to provide some ambience, which is a good start. You can hear bear and elk sounds, sometimes quietly and sometimes very loud, and the sound volume doesn't seem to correlate to how close the animal is, which would have been very useful in a hunting game. A loud roar will make you spin 180 degrees in a panic, only to see the bear way on the other side of the arena. And as you might already expect, this game makes no use of 3D sound design. The animals make a surprising amount of noise, and being able to tell what direction that noise came from would have been not only extremely helpful, but also much more immersive. Just like the graphics, the sound design seems rushed and incomplete. On the positive side, this game is quite comfortable to play. First-person shooters have a habit of making people sick, but a nice side effect of the limited control scheme is that you only move in the direction you're looking. And when you do move, it's so slow that it's sometimes hard to tell you're moving. The sense of presence, on the other hand, isn't fantastic. Being able to move around is great, even if it does feel unnaturally slow, but the graphics and sound really sabotage the experience. I'll never cite low poly or blocky graphics as a source of breaking immersion, and that's not the issue here. No, it's the complete lack of coherence in the graphics that breaks the illusion. Blocky purple trees next to realistically modeled animals is just jarring. The lack of 3D sound, or even sound consistent with animal proximity, also hurts the sense of presence, but it's the graphics that are the major pain point. The verdict? Well, Oculus puts this gallery app label on some games for a variety of reasons. Sometimes the games are mostly well made, and the gallery app label is unwarranted. Other times, the game is unfinished or low quality, and the gallery app label is completely justified. Chase and Hunt falls into the second category. It's entertaining for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, but you'll be bored of it by the end of your first hunt. The graphics are a mess, the sound is random, and the gameplay is devoid of a challenge or goal. And I could look past all of that if the game tried to be realistic in the slightest, but it doesn't. If you're looking for a shooting game, I highly recommend Z-Shot, Gun Club 3, SWAT Academy, or Drop Dead, or almost any of the other shooters. And if you really want a hunting game, Deer Hunter VR is still the best bet on the Gear VR. This video should be enough for you to make your own decision, and if you still think it's worth a try, that's your call. Personally, I found it disappointing, and I'd hate for you to have the same experience. Thanks for watching. Got something to say about this video, an opinion of the game itself, or VR in general? Leave a comment to let me know what you think. And if you like what you saw and you want to see more of this, hit the like and subscribe buttons. And be sure to check out my other reviews as well. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.